well, how technically is this even happening? How is it that so many governments are spying on so many people? Because even if we pass the best legal reforms in the world in the United States, that doesn't do anything against China or Russia or Germany or France or Brazil or any other country in the world. If we want to solve these things, if we want to sort of enforce the protections of human rights that we ourselves inherited for the next generation, we need to find new means, new mechanisms of enforcing those rights in new times. And I think that's going to be primarily through science and technology.
Well, I have one other question, and I don't expect you to give a real long answer to this, but I'm always fascinated about meeting people that are generally like-minded, and you obviously have libertarian beliefs, and you've identified, I believe, with libertarian ideas. Has that been a long-term thing? Did you consider yourself libertarian early on, or did you have a transition, and was there anything special that influenced you in that direction? Because obviously you're concerned about civil liberties, as we all should be.
You know, this is one of those challenges because I don't actually like political labels. Some people say, you know, I'm a libertarian. I'm like, you know, I understand the ideology and I appreciate a lot of the arguments. Then they go, oh, I'm a liberal, you know, because I've criticized Donald Trump or something like that. And I go, that's not quite right, even though I work every day with the ACLU. Or they go, you know, I'm a Republican or something like that because I may have issued some criticism of Hillary Clinton. And none of that is quite right. Right? We're more than sort of tribes. We're more than sort of labels. It is true that I think we have challenges that are deriving from governments reaching a new scale that they haven't previously occupied historically. The rise of these sort of super states, right? And there's this dynamic that seems attached to that, which is that the larger the state becomes, the less accountable to its people, to its citizens, it seems to become at the same time. When you look at the grossest violations of human rights happening in the world, whether they're in, you know, a place like China or Russia, or a place like the United States, where, you know, they're using the sort of harsh tactics they used against protest groups like Black Lives Matters, the surveillance of civil rights leaders, the targeting of minority groups, ecological protesters, whatever you have, you don't see these same kind of things happening at the same scale in places like Denmark, right? Small government tends to be more respecting of individuals' rights than large governments. And the question that we need to ask is sort of why? I don't really know where that belief came from. I don't really even know if it's true. I'm open to change and sort of being persuaded on these ideas. But I think the internet produces a lot of people who look at these issues differently in a less tribal way, because you hear more viewpoints, you hear from many more people. And the more people in a conversation, I think the better informed it often is.